We're here with Josh Hickson. He's the chef and owner of 40 Paper here in Camden.
All right, so I think our pan is nice and hot here. We're just gonna rest these right on top. And they're kind of delicate right now, so you wanna be very careful with it. There we go. So while that's cooking, we'll make the rest of the salad. I like to use organic baby spinach. It's very sweet, very delicate.
It is.
But it's also kind of unruly, like, because it's really big, and when you're doing a composed salad on a dish, you want it to be nice and tight. So I'm gonna take it, and we're just gonna chiffonade it. Just very roughly cut it into strips. That way it's gonna toss a lot better, it's gonna look a lot prettier on the plate, it'll grab the vinaigrette that we're gonna make really, really well.
Baby spinach is a lot sweeter than its adult counterpart as well.
No, I agree, and tender too, really soft. You don't have to cook it. If you do cook it, you end up with almost nothing, because there's not a lot to it. But raw, it's so nice and bright. So we're gonna take that there, we'll just put it in a bowl. We'll take the mini yellow. I like to use mini yellows because they're like, you can think of oranges or tangerines. They're this beautiful middle ground. They have a lot of the tartness that you get from lemons, and they have a lot of the sweetness that you get from oranges, but they're very, very bright. They have a gorgeous color on the outside, so when you zest them, you get this beautiful product that add a lot of color. But the fruit itself is really great. It's very, very bright is the best way to describe it. I feel like it tastes orange. So we're just cutting off the outsides here. All right, so now let me check these over here. These are smoking beautifully. Oh, we got a great sear on them.
Oh, look at that.
That was with no fat in the pan also, because the prosciutto already has a lot of richness. So very gently turn them over. You can see all the herbs and everything is coming right through already. We're gonna throw that in an oven. Throw it in about a 350-degree oven. Keep an eye on it because the fish cooks really fast, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
So now we're just gonna go here and you follow your segments that you see right there. We're just cutting on the other sides of the lines. And that way we end up with these beautiful little pieces.
So when you serve these kinds of dishes at your restaurant, is it immediately I place the order and you're back there busy making it?
Yeah, well, and it depends on what the aspects of the dish. Like in the restaurant, we might have the fish wrapped already, but the vinaigrette, because it's so fresh and bright, we'd make it to order. So with this, we'd have the supremes ready. But when we get this, we end up with this sort of shell of nothing. You can take it and you squeeze and get this beautiful, very, very tangy. As I said, the mini yellows have such a bright flavor that we'll get this beautiful juice here. And we're gonna take that orange juice that we have now and add some of the spicy extra virgin olive oil we used earlier and make sort of a quick vinaigrette. Go ahead and season it. Swirl it around. Now that's ready to go. Nice and light, very fresh, because we don't want to add a lot of acidity and have to compete with not only the delicate fish, but the wine. Looks pretty good.
It looks perfect.
So it's looking really good. You can see it's starting to flake up a little bit. If you touch it, it's firm, and it's starting to release a little bit of the albumin on the fish. It's ready to go.
Nice.
So we'll put that right there. We have our salad pretty much all composed and ready to go. I'm gonna add a little bit of chopped pecans on there. I like nuts a lot. Pecans are very, I think, earthy. Very nice.
So, well, how would you describe your restaurant if you had 10 words or less? 40 Paper is?
We're a modern Italian bistro and bar. And we tend to focus more on fresh pastas. We do a lot of grilled flatbread pizzas. It's very unpretentious, very, very easy, straightforward Italian food. But we focus on fresh pastas.
As we were talking in the other dishes, Bettina was saying that she ate this particular dish and that particular dish at the bar. And so, Bettina, I was hoping that maybe you could come back and tell us a little bit about what some of your favorite things are to eat at 40 Paper.
Short ribs.
Short ribs.
Great short ribs.
The short ribs are great.
Yeah, the short ribs are really good.
The short ribs are really, really good. We do it's a 16-ounce short rib, and it's bone in, and when you braise it,
For how long do you braise that?
It takes like 3 days to make it,
yeah,
but the braise is only like 8 hours. It looks like a big meat lollipop when it's all done. It's fantastic. It's really
Oh, and
great.
it's so tender.
Yeah.
And you don't need a knife. You literally put your fork into it, and it just falls apart and it's so yummy.
So we're gonna add all of that spinach in there to that beautiful vinaigrette we made a minute ago. Let's add these oranges in here also. And then I'm gonna add a bunch of these shaved radishes. Get some really nice color.
And thank you very much using the vinaigrette the way you did. It's not going to kill any wine.
No, it's gentle.
The
yeah.
vinaigrette you did is actually going to be a lot friendlier to wine. Typically, salad dressings are really hard because the acidity in them is typically very difficult on wine. And so, Josh, as usual, is making my life really easy.
Well, why don't you grab those plates over there and let's see
Okay, let's see how we did.
tastes as good as it looks.
If somebody wanted to put a starch next to this, what would you do?
Oh, you could do something. You want to do something really clean and really light. So I would say like you could do. I don't know. I feel like it
I put you on the spot.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm thinking of different options. Like you could do it with like a polenta, and perhaps a polenta that's seared. Or you could do it with a flatbread or something.
A flatbread might be nice, huh?
Something to pull it together. But essentially, like with the fish, there's so much body to it, and the prosciutto has richness, and you have. I feel like it doesn't need anything. I feel like it's good.
I like the way you presented it because you know what? It's got so much flavor. The smaller plates and the smaller dishes are going to be nice.
And so, what are we thinking of pairing the wine with this?
You know, it's interesting. There's so much flavor going on. We actually thought we needed something with some full body and some richness to it, and we actually paired this with our Chardonnay. And our Chardonnay actually has lots of ripe fruit and green apples and honey and vanilla aromas on it. It was fermented on oak, but it didn't go through secondary fermentation. So it doesn't have that buttery element to it, but it's got a nice satiny, creamy finish on it.
And what was that last thing that you just put on there?
That was just a touch of Saba. It's a type of balsamic that is cooked in copper with, and it's reduced, and they add brown sugar to it, so it's sweet. And so you get a little bit of the acidity you might want to combat the richness, but it's also sweet and very rich and very full bodied.
Well,
I love this. Chardonnay is such a great food for wine, and it's vilified so much because I feel like it was made really poorly in California for a while. But now California makes great Chardonnay. The world makes great Chardonnay.
Chardonnay's we have guests who come into the winery and they will either say, I only drink Chardonnay or I don't drink Chardonnay at all. And you're right. It has almost become a caricature of itself, and I do think we're coming to the other side of that, which is
so great with food.
California Chardonnay had become big and oaky and eating the inside of a a popcorn bowl, and it really is settling back out again. And so the grape is lovely, and with a little bit of oak on it, it is great for rich, kind of flavorful foods like this. I know I'm a wine person, but quite frankly,
we actually we sell a lot of beer. We specialize in artisan draft beers that are super hard to find and come by. There's so many great brewers in Maine now too. We've got one in Belfast. The guys at Three Tides do probably some of the best beer in the state, and we've been able to get our hands on a number of kegs, and they just have really great beers.
But you go out of your way to make sure you keep changing it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Your offerings?
We've gone through 30 in the last 2 months.
I actually read that on your Facebook page. I was like, that's going through some beer.
We go through so much beer.
But I love that you have so many selections to choose from and that you really keep it fresh, like Bettina was saying.
No, it's a lot of fun.
This is absolutely wonderful.
It's delicious. Awesome.